Until we start, feel free to grab a drink, get some food, use the bathroom, write a poem, go to sleep. Plenty of options. We have a little more than 4 minutes on the clock. What's up, Thunbird? Nice to see you. Welcome back to this stream. Hey Eric, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Alright, I should actually prepare in the background. Give me a sec. I totally zoned out. Oh, Thumper, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm thankful that you feel comfortable enough to share it. Prayers and condolences to your family. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad that you're seeking out things that bring you joy. All right, why don't we hop into the stream and see what the heck we're reading today. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another 99 more tabletop RPG live stream. Golly, you'd think I would nail this intro by now. This is the live stream where we cover 99 other tabletop RPGs. We are currently on game number 81, And by golly, we're getting close to that fabled 99. Today we're going to be talking about a tabletop RPG that I haven't read at all, as I usually don't. Sometimes I skim it, sometimes I browse it, sometimes I look at the game beforehand. And if it looks fairly hefty, then I try to get a grasp of how much I should cover. But this game seems fairly quaint and quite short, so I'm going to very much enjoy presenting the great majority of this wonderful game called May You Fish in Interesting Times by Carol Wu and W.H. Arthur. This was the award winner for Best Art in the Indie Groundbreaker Awards. I was able to reach out to the author, W.H. Arthur, and they gave me permission to browse this game. I will show you where to find this game, how it plays, and hopefully we get a good grip on what this game is in fact all about. And yeah, and we'll go from there. Yeah, fantastic. I just wanted to confirm in correspondence if there's anything I should avoid as spoilers, but it looks like this entire book is very much open for everybody. Hi Wink, nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Let's jump into it. Oh, I should show you the Chrome page first. Let me do that. All right, you can find this game on itch.io, and you can look up in the search bar, May You Fish in Interesting Times. You can also find this at arrow-ether.itch.io/fishintimes. The link is in the description of this video. And as we said before, this is the winner of the 2024 Indie Groundbreaker Awards Best Art. And I don't believe there's much else to say about this. We should obviously highlight the illustrator of this book, which is Carol Wu Illustration. You can find them on Instagram, and their portfolio is also in their description. These are a number of other things they've worked on. Clearly a fan of avians. But let's jump into it. Let's just see what this book is all about. And if we can get a little bit of a play sample as we play through, we'll see what's up. We're going to kind of play this by ear, which should be pretty fun. There we go. Okay, so this PDF, this is a 20-page PDF, so we'll be able to browse the great majority of this game, I imagine. So let's find out what it's all about. Also, this cover is incredible. It's made for so many cool thumbnails, specifically on Blue Sky. But let's continue. All right. This is a world of anthropomorphic birds, and the story takes place in the Avian Empire under the rule of Emperor Tyrannus. The birds go to work in factories and offices, and they have hobbies while they are not on the clock. A few years ago, the blue-collar birds, the white-collar birds, and the birds with the collars of all colors united in an attempt to overthrow the empire. The revolution ultimately failed, with the leading rebels either jailed or executed. No one talks about the revolution anymore. You play as anthropomorphic birds on a fishing trip. Is it really just a fishing trip? Play to find out. Instead of coming up with a backstory for your character at the beginning, you learn their backstory as you play the game. What a wild pitch from the jump. Okay, what we've learned about this game. This is a game about anthropomorphic birds. That's who you're going to be playing as. So human-shaped birds that have jobs and work and have hobbies like everything else. But there was, in the past couple years, an attempt to overthrow the empire, the Avian Empire, under Emperor Tyrannus. Kind of a heavy-handed name that you got there, Emperor, but so be it. But the revolution failed, and this is post-war fishing, I think, is what this game is about. Let's see what this continues to be. Sometimes the beauty of tabletop RPGs is that it can truly be about anything, It can truly be about anything, and I'm glad something like this exists. This sentence has me on the edge of my seat. Is it really just a simple fishing trip? All right, what do you need to play? May You Fish in Interesting Times is a role-playing game for 3 to 5 players. Requires 1 to 3 hours, a deck of playing cards, a 6-sided die, and writing materials. Printout of the playbooks can be downloaded on the website. 3-player game would last around 1.5 to 2 hours. 5-player game in which the players answer the most of their playbook questions would take around 3 hours. When running the game with a time constraint, have the bird anglers call it a day and proceed to the meal 15 minutes before the end of session. Safety. This is a cozy fishing game, but at the same time about the shared trauma of the characters. When we play the game, we should make sure to create a safe and supportive environment for everyone. We should decide on the tone and theme as a group. It says here, what's the tone of the game? It could be very silly, whimsical, /serious, or always serious. Obviously, you want everybody kind of on the same page as to what kind of tone you're going for, so you guys can have an enjoyable experience. How do we deal with the theme of revolution? A cartoonish depiction of good versus evil, or a somewhat serious, but we don't want to get into dark places, or we want to draw inspirations from real-life conflicts. So we're kind of straddling the line, right? There's a little bit of an absurdist energy as we're all playing as anthropomorphic birds that are fishing in a post-wartime era. Just the concept of it is stretching suspension of disbelief. But, you know, if you want to play a game like this, if this is a game that appeals to you, you have to kind of allow yourself to be in that state of mind. So if you're talking about themes of war, if you're talking about themes of conflict, of revolution, you all have to be on the same page about how serious you're taking this. Because I get the vibe that this game can be very lighthearted, can be kind of just a pass the time type conversation, or it can be very heavy and really delve into topics that kind of straddle the line between fantasy and too close to home, you know? So be very careful with this. Obviously, you should have topics to avoid that everybody is privy to before the session, and the X card if the story ever becomes too uncomfortable, as we've seen many times before. Alright. How to play. To begin the game, each player picks up one of the playbooks and gives their angler a name. As a group, decide on the location of the fishing trip, e.g. on the seashore, on a boat in the middle of the sea, on the riverbank, at the lakeside, in the swampland. Shuffle a deck of playing cards with jokers. Okay, the jokers is necessary. So a deck of 54. And place it somewhere within reach by all players. Set aside an area next to the deck for the discard pile. Set an area next to the deck for the discard pile. Right. The game is played over a series of rounds. The player who has most recently seen a bird is the first focal player. I feel like there's another game with that rule. Am I crazy? Who's most recently seen a bird? So be it. When the fishing is done, the bird anglers share a meal together before the game ends. So I think they mentioned it in the itch page, but the setup of this game is very much akin to the game For the Queen. For the Queen is a game where there are a number of people, the entourage of a queen are all traveling in a carriage together. So like the servants and the knight and all that stuff. It involves a deck of cards, and as you draw cards, the cards give you prompts, and the prompts tell you about your character's collective backstory, how you know each other, how you know the queen, how you are individually connected, or what leads you to this point, things like that. And then once you draw the joker, that's when the game ends, things happen, conflict arises, and you resolve the story. So I imagine this will have some of the same type of game flow. It's a big assumption. I'd love to be pleasantly surprised of something else, but playing a deck with playing cards with jokers is very much a For the Queen staple. I don't know if For the Queen started it, but it's certainly the most popular of that genre, or over that game system. Hey, welcome, Trickable Person. Nice to see you back. Welcome to the chat. Round structure. Oh, Triple Person, since you're a little bit late, this game is about playing as birds that are going fishing post-war time. That sums it up in like 10 words, right? Yeah. All right. Round structure. The focal player draws a card and answers a question on their playbook. Have a conversation surrounding the answer as the bird anglers reminisce about their as the bird anglers reminiscing their past. At the end of the conversation, if the focal player has 3 cards of their favorite suit, or 3 cards of numerical order in any suit, something is caught on the hook. Discard the trio of cards and roll on the fish table. Whether something is caught or not, the next player clockwise becomes the focal player. Repeat until all questions in the playbooks are answered, the deck is empty, or when all bird anglers decide to call it a day. Okay, there's an awesome little setup here. We learn here that every character has their own playbook, which comes with a bunch of questions that need answering about your past and perhaps your collective past with everybody on the boat. And then whenever there's a 3-card combo, whether it be 3 of the same suit or 3 cards in numerical order, then that counts as a catch on the hook, and maybe that'll amount to something towards the end. We'll see what the fish table entails for us. And of course, the game conclusion comes when you answer all questions of the playbook. Deck is empty, so you go through all 54. Wow. Or when all bird anglers decide to call it a day, which is probably the most likely. Joker acts as a wild card and can be assigned any suit and any value of the holder's choice. Fantastic. Okay, fish table. What is caught on the hook? Roll d6 and describe your catch. 1 is some junk, 2 to 3 is a small fry, 4 to 5 is a big fish, and 6 is a huge fish. Gain 5 food. So food is some sort of, I don't want to say currency, but it's a value that should be tracked moving forward. Cool. Very, very simple, straightforward fish table. The meal and ending. After the birds are done with fishing, they share a meal together. How much food is collected per angler? For 4 per player game, 20 food is required for a fulfilling meal, and 36 food is required for a lavish meal. Okay, so it's so this is the amount per person, basically. Less than 5 is there barely enough to go around, at least 5 is a fulfilling meal, and at least 9 is a lavish meal with enough for leftovers. After the meal, the secret police arrive. To a plot twist. I wasn't ready for the tone shift. Hold on. The birds finish fishing, they share a meal, and this is how much food everyone has. And then after the meal, the secret police arrives. Each player answers, "What do you do?" The game ends after every birdie described their immediate reaction. The players are free to speculate what happens afterward. Dang. So yeah, so this is akin to the spirit of For the Queen, where the game ends with conflict. The game ends when there's an immediate thing that you have to react to, and everybody, with the context that has been forged through the last couple of prompts and discussions and conversations, know their dynamic with this enemy threat and with each other. And depending on what story has been forged, the story can go in many different directions. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little twist. I wasn't ready to read this. I think I was just, because, I'm reading all of this with you guys for the first time, right? I don't know what I'm going to read next. So when you hit me with these 7 words, the secret police are, I'm like, oh, hands up. I thought we were going to end with the food. But yeah, nice little twist at the end. What do you do? Could you imagine a scenario where the conversation reveals that these different birds have betrayed each other in the past, and then when the secret police arrive, it's a race to see who throws who under the bus. I don't know if that would ever happen, of course, because I don't know what questions would occur in the playbook, but I think there's a cool angle you could take with this kind of game where one of the birds is not as friendly as everybody expected, but we'll see. Examples of fish that can cause saltwater, fish that is caught in freshwater. Great, because I wouldn't have known this. This is really good to have for people like me who have fished twice before, at most. Once on a boat with someone who really knew how to fish, and once on a beach shore with people who knew less about fishing. Did I catch anything that time? No, I don't think so. Have I fished more than twice? I feel like I have. Probably not. I think it's just the twice. I've caught one fish in my life. Also, the art's kicking in. Look at this. Oh, we gotta zoom out. What is this? How cool. I like how rough the art is. Playbooks. There are 5 bird angler playbooks to pick from. Pelican, osprey, cormorant, night heron, and rebel fisher. Oh, and here we go. Time to learn about backstory. The pelican was an organizer in the revolution. Their flaw is selfishness, and their favorite suit is heart. The osprey was a fighter in the revolution. Their flaw is hubris, love it, and their favorite suit is spades. The cormorant was a spy in the revolution. They are well adapted to society, and their favorite suit is club. The night heron was an engineer in the revolution. They are a know-it-all, and their favorite suit is diamond. What is the 5th? If these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, what could the 5th be? The rebel fisher was a courier in the revolution. They are bound by fate, and their favorite suit is court. I don't know what this means. Does anyone know what this means? Their favorite suit is court? Also, look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this art. I'm sure we'll get some blown up versions of this soon. Love this osprey art. Very cool. Favorite suit is court? What if I Google it? Court suit deck of cards. What does that mean? Maybe, oh, it's just face cards. Okay, the face cards are the court suit. Got it. That's what Google tells me. So it would be Jack, Queen, Kings is basically your suit. Oh my gosh. Hold on. We gotta zoom out. Whoa, this art is red. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. We're gonna get full art of all 5 of these. How great. This is so good. Where in the world are you gonna find art like this? Right? Except in a tabletop RPG about fishermen birds post-revolution, right? Tabletop RPGs, man. All right, so these are examples of playbooks. And again, playbooks are kind of the character sheets of tabletop RPGs. You pick a playbook, and that is where you fill out most of your character information. This game specifically tells you that you shouldn't fill out anything in your playbook until the game actually starts, where you start to learn about your backstory or invent it on the spot. All right, so Pelican, you are a sociable water bird. You were an organizer during the revolution, rallying the other birds to the cause. Real-life bird fact. Oh, bird facts. Pelicans often work as a team to fish, but even so, a pelican would attempt to steal food that is already in their teammate's pouch. They've also been observed to steal fish caught by other species of birds. Okay? So this guy is very charismatic, but also very selfish. Questions. On your first turn, answer the top question in the left column. On subsequent turns, choose a question from either column. Okay. First question is, how did you discover your talent as an organizer? E.g., every birdie was drawn by your charisma. You were a great public speaker. So this is kind of where was your rise to power, right? And then we can just kind of go through this in a row and see an example of where this story kind of goes. Oh, triple person, you missed the what do you call it? The weekly question. It is, have you ever gone fishing? Oh, did I misspell it? Wow, let me fix it. Hold on. I mean, now I've been forced to go back and typo correct. Have that's not correct. Have you ever gone fishing? Have you ever gone fishing? Is that correct grammar? Have you ever been fishing? No. Have you ever gone fishing? Have you ever gone fishing? Have you ever fished before? I said I fished twice. I've fished twice before in 2 separate occasions. I'm not very good at it. I don't know what to do. God, wow, you set me up. You set me up. What's my favorite bird? Gosh. There's a bird that makes a really fun... I think the kookaburra is a really fun bird because it makes such a cool sound. There's also a bird that I saw... Oh my gosh, I saw it on Instagram. Sorry, I saw the bird on Instagram, and it like has a... It has a funny... It's a funny bird sound that sounds like Marge saying ooh. Like ooh. Ooh. It's very fun. So when there's like 10 of them in the field, it's just like a bunch of birds that sound really curious. They all just go ooh, ooh, ooh. So whatever that bird is, that's my second favorite. But kookaburra is probably up there. I don't know why I can't think of other birds right now, but those are sick. I guess hummingbird is pretty nice too. Weird birds. That's my MO. Okay, so let's just look at this as an example. I don't think I'm going to go through every single playbook, but I do want to see just a general flow. So understand again that whenever it's your turn, you're going to go draw a card, you're going to answer a question on your sheet, and then you might catch a fish because of a set of 3 that you might have collected over the course of the game. So in this game, you're capturing at least 3. You're pulling at least 3 cards. Your goal is to get at least 5 points to get a good meal. So I would say that takes at least 6 cards to get to. So this game might take a little bit of time because, like, if we scroll up, let's do an example, right? So this is the possible catches, right? And you want 5, at least 5 for a fulfilling meal. So you probably need in the ballpark of like two catches, a little more than 2 catches. So that's somewhere around 6 cards. 6 cards is 6 prompts. So if you're looking at these prompts and you spend a little bit of time on each of them, you can make it all the way through your story. So right here, look. So there are 6 total prompts from top to bottom right here, and obviously some ancillary, that's not a word, some extra prompts over to the side, core stories, and 6 questions. So game has been carefully designed to lead you to answering at least 6 questions to get a fulfilling meal. And that's kind of the number crunching behind the scenes. So for example, the pelican, which we've established is charismatic but selfish. What is the kind of story that you would be led to tell if you were to do these 6 questions? And ancillary? I don't know what that word means. I just use it every now and then, and I pretend I know what it means. So I've been trying to stop myself from using it because I've been too lazy to look up what it means. But I also have to break a habit, which is harder than just which is harder than just learning what it means. Anyway. So, for example, the pelican. How did you discover your talent as an organizer? What incited you to use your skill for the revolution? Describe a triumphant moment you had in the revolution. How did your selfishness lead to a setback in the revolution? And when the revolution was crushed, you stayed calm and led a group of rebels from immediate danger. What happened? Something's caught on the hook, roll on the fish table. Okay, so look, the 5th question automatically gets you a fish. So you're like 1 inch away from having a healthy meal. And then what is the real reason for you to be out here fishing, and what can you gain from it? So if you answer all 6 of these questions, you're guaranteed to have at least 1 fish. And if any of your other 5 cards make a set, which they probably will, then you can have a hearty meal. So what is the real reason for you to be out here fishing, and what can you gain from it? Okay, so this story speaks of a pelican who has been at the top and slowly worked and slowly built a community around them, and eventually when everything fell, they did their best to do right by the people around them. Right? And then when it says here, what is the real reason for you to be out here fishing? So you ask yourself, what would a former revolutionary leader be out here fishing for? Perhaps to find new recruits for the cause for the next revolution. Perhaps to take their mind off of the trauma of losing a group of rebels in the middle of danger. Perhaps it's a meeting place for future revolutionaries that this lake is all about. So when you ask what is the real reason, this begs the question of what is your character's future? You know, what do they have planned? As someone who is a leader, what is their plan moving forward? Or have they truly stepped away from the call, right? And if you don't want to answer these questions, these 6 in a row, you can go to here, and the questions in the right column allow you to interact with other people, right? So it says here, enter in any order. What treasured moment do you recall between you and one of the other birds? And then you would swap a card with theirs, obviously in pursuit of getting a fish. But this allows you to build a connection with one of the birds already present. One of the other birds caused you great distress in the past. What happened, and do you still hold a grudge? And here you take one of their cards. And this is obviously like antagonistic because you're preventing them from building a set if you choose to take one of their cards. So this can build towards tension in the story, a complicated background, a complicated history between 2 characters. Pretty cool. And then one of the other birds saved your cloaca in the revolution. What happened? Give them one of your cards. So this would be self-detrimental. So you're allowing somebody else to eat while you will have a smaller meal. And this is obviously in thankfulness to what they've done for you during the revolution. So building on this history. What secret did you keep from one of the other birds for their own good? Draw another card and decide whether to keep it or to give it to them. This is a generous one where the number of cards grows, but this could be a gift towards somebody else who you think might need more food, right? So it's a boon. You and one of the other birds were romantically involved during the revolution. Do you still have feelings for them? Oop, I skipped ahead. Oop, skipped ahead again. Do you still... Oh my gosh, I keep clicking. I keep clicking. We're almost there. I gotta zoom out. It's skipping ahead because I'm too zoomed. Shuffle your cards and theirs together, then distribute them evenly between the 2. Ooh, this is a wild card. We're shuffling the cards you guys have, and then not even like deciding who gets what. Kind of scrambling your histories. So yeah. These are cool because they're entered in any order, and obviously you don't have to answer any of these questions if you feel like it doesn't lend itself to your story. So these questions are very personal to you, and these are useful for linking yourself with other people, which is neat. So, with just this playbook, and we can take a glance at the other ones and just really get a quick glimpse about what those could be about. But we kind of got the meat and potatoes of what this game is. The primary purpose of a game like this is, of course, emergent storytelling. It's walking in not knowing what kind of story you're going to tell with everybody else, and walking away with an entirely fleshed backstory of these clearly historied anglers. It's obvious that these questions set you up to have interacted with these characters in the past to understand that you might not like the person in the same boat as you. You might be very close to the person in the boat with you. It deals with questions of trauma and regret, of things that you wish you could have done differently, of decisions you made in the moment and secrets that you're willing to impart because this is a quiet moment between all of you, a moment of vulnerability. It's about a bunch of people just speaking their truth, right? There's not really a victory to be had, you know? There's some games where you're obviously fighting for a cause, you're working towards a goal, you are trying to save the kingdom, kill the dragon, find success in either your career or your trajectory, yada, yada, yada. This game isn't really like that. It's more about reflection and inventing this shared history. It's like inventing a story on the spot. Emergent storytelling. It's about things. It's about maybe even surprising your fellow players about what kind of character they have in their mind, what kind of person they've painted themselves to be. I think games like these are really cool. Mostly because I'm just glad they exist, right? That a game that actively focuses on the end of someone's story. A game that actively focuses on the epilogue of something that didn't exist, like before you started playing. I don't really know why I'm waxing poetic about this. It's not much deeper than that, right? Like, and this game kind of plays it off with allowing you to be anthropomorphic birds in a post-bird war revolution with Emperor Tyrannus in the Avian Empire, right? All that is nice, and it's a little bit of levity and humor in what would otherwise be a very serious game of a bunch of war veterans fishing and reminiscing about a great loss to their cause. And I feel like there's some people out there who wouldn't even call this a game, right? It's just an exercise. It's just a creative exercise. But this concept, we already know the core of this story that we're building together. But this concept is gamified by the card system, by allowing you to exchange, by allowing you to build cards for the suit, which amount to food, and the food doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, the food doesn't really matter. It's like, yeah, you have a lot of food. Who cares, right? But the symbology of the food, the symbolism of the food is an opportunity to share and give and take from each other, right? I did like this, right? I did like this progression to tell your story, but I really liked this. An opportunity to take cards from people and give cards to people, right? That adds an interactivity between the characters that says, hey, I don't want you to succeed in post. Even after the war is over, I wish you could have less. You know? Like I don't like I hold resentment towards you, and therefore I will take one of your cards. Or I regret not providing for you more, and in this moment give you one of the cards. Like, I hold this deep gratitude towards you. So have my food, right? Fantastic conversion of like a game tool to storytelling. And it's so simple, right? It's so simple. And then obviously, like, this one's okay. Like, this one's okay. Draw a card and decide who gets it. But this one is cool too. This is a nice little thing where you grab somebody's card, shuffle them all up, and then after you shuffle, you distribute them evenly, and you don't know who gets what. It's not to any like benefit or boon. Like there's no real gain from this. It's truly like you're just leaving it to RNG, and isn't that what relationships are? Just you don't know what you end up with. It's just kind of taking a risk and hoping it turns out for the best, right? Just a little bit of symbolism there too. How nice, how sweet, you know? It's cool. Do all the other ones? So this is a cool article. I'll show you guys all the full art. I don't think I'll dwell on any other playbooks because I think I got what I wanted out of this game, which is very nice. Okay, so all of them have the same kind of prompts for to give one, take one, swap one, shuffle, and then draw and give. But this one is cool. This one's like a fighter. Ooh, look at that. This is the spy, right? The cormorant. Love the lightning bolt. That's sick. Cormorant. Okay, so it does look like all of the prompts are the same for each of these birds. Which is fine. And then this is like just a little bit of insight into how to play these birds. So cormorant, a real life bird fact. In some cultures, cormorants are trained by fishermen to fish for them. A rope is tied around each of the cormorant's necks so that the big fish cannot be swallowed and has to be regurgitated for the fisherman. The cormorant is rewarded small fry for their effort. So, how cool. This is like so they use this as a spy. And then this is the night heron. This is the engineer, I believe, of the group. Very cool, like sciencey art. And then, whoa, rebel fisher. Look at this, right? Look at the lighting. I love it. Real life bird fact: in many cultures, kingfishers are seen as divine messengers that bring peace and prosperity. Cool. And yeah, that's it. Look, we got to mention For the Queen. Okay, so we were correct. The Queen. We have heard of Brindlewood Bay as well. And yeah, that's it. That's the game, guys. Love it. Even the back cover is sick. How nice is this? Very cool. Okay, I mean, that's that. Wow, what a profound read. Short read, brief read, but very, very thought-provoking. I'm just scrolling through to see the art one more time. Okay, so let's reflect a little bit. May You Fish in Interesting Times is a game by Carol Wu and W.H. Arthur. Carol Wu is the illustrator, I believe, and W.H. Arthur is the writer. I'm sure I can leave this on the credits just so we can give some credit where it's due. Where can I find credits? Towards the end? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, writing layout. This is a game about a bunch of fish, not a bunch of fish. It's about a bunch of anthropomorphic birds who are fishing together. They used to either collaborate or work with each other during a revolutionary war where they attempted to overthrow the Avian Empire run by Emperor Tyrannus, and they failed. And this is the epilogue of their failure. This is a bunch of very specialized war veterans reflecting on their history together during those times. It uses a deck of cards to simulate the randomness that is fishing, that sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're unlucky, and there's a couple of prompts in the playbooks that allow you to detail your history one by one, kind of going around the table and slowly interweaving those stories together through prompts that ask you to take or give cards to each other. The game ends when you guys are ready, or to feast or eat or run out of cards in the deck, yada yada, and then the secret police arrive to throw your fishing trip into disarray, and that is when you choose where your allegiances lie, what you expect of yourself in the future, and what decisions will be made when time is of the essence. It's a really brief game. It really is a game that reflects on the ideas of trauma and regret and gratitude in a wartime, and kind of disguises it in this fun little fishing game with birds. But it does have very, very tight mechanics that allow you to build a story together with your friends, which is really cool, and I like that. If you enjoy this game, you can find it on itch.io. I will show you where you can find it again. There we go. Yep. You can find it here on itch.io. May you fish in interesting times. Again, this is by W.H. Arthur and Carol Wu. With that said, next week, I don't know if I'm streaming next week. I'm not positive. I'm definitely not streaming the 24th because I will be on vacation for my birthday, or my birthday week. So if I'm not streaming on the 17th, then next time I'll see you guys is July 1st. I really got to check in with, I wanted to do Last Train to Bremen, but they're doing a crowdfunder for a physical release, and I don't know what their game plans for that, so I don't want to stream their game while they're crowdfunding. It kind of feels weird. So we'll see what happens there, but if not, I'll see you guys soon enough. And I don't know what the next game is in that case, but I'm glad you guys could tune in. I wish you all the best. Thumper, I wish good for you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful month as you spend time with people you hold dear. For the rest of you, have a wonderful week, have a wonderful night, have a wonderful month. I will see you guys soon enough back here, same time, same place. Stay frosty, and good night.